Right. A proper wellbeing chat with me, Ben Johnson of AEON Health and Fitness, and my top quality co-host. Introduce yourself, young man.
Oh, my name is Ross Gyrey. I am from North Shields, and I feel like I'm on Take Me Out, and I'm ready to coach.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best introductions we've ever done to these podcasts. So let's just get into the meat and drink of today's session, which is all about unlocking powerful motivation that will help you achieve health, strength, and well-being. That's what this session is all about. And some of it's based on kind of a recent experience that I have been on, so I'm going to be rambling on a little bit about that. So do you want me to kick off with why people should be paying attention to this session?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's have it.
Yeah, cool. So I don't know whether you wanted to roll with some of this. I don't want this just to be like 20 minutes of me rambling on and you're like, shut up,
Man, I am gonna have my things to say 1,000,000%. If we're talking about unlocking powerful motivation, I don't think I can just sit here. So
Good.
I will be getting involved 100%.
You are powerfully motivated to talk. So why you should listen to this podcast. Essentially, most people that we talk to as coaches specifically, but I think just out there as well, most people get motivation completely the wrong way around. Yeah, they kind of put the cart before the horse with this one. You almost see it as a force that is pushing you to have to go and take action. Yeah, we see it all the time as coaches, people saying, oh, I need a PT alongside me to motivate me. You know, I need something there that's going to kick me in the seat of the pants and get me taking action. Much better to completely flip that on its head and use it as something that's deep-seated, kind of inside yourself and dragging you along to where you want to be in terms of health, strength, well-being, those kinds of things. So what is it that our clients are kind of looking for when it comes to being motivated? What is it that they're actually trying to achieve when they're talking about being motivated?
Well, they basically want to be more consistent and can't work out a way to do it. And something you just said there was key, that people are like, when people crave motivation, they crave the, like, I wish someone was there just to kick my butt, or I wish I was more motivated to go to the gym when I don't want to do it. And there's not enough behind it to drive you forward, right? And people are just going at it empty, just wanting, which is essentially just wishing, isn't it? And what we're saying here is that if you have something that is that powerful to you to pull you towards, instead of trying to drive you forward, something that's exciting, something that inspires you, like if you have a super boring goal, you're not going to be motivated to do it. You're going to see it as a chore. You're going to see it as something that has to be forced. If you don't enjoy going to the gym, that for a lot of people is the end of it. Instead of thinking, how can I enjoy the gym more? What can I bring in to really inspire me to do this, and creating that extra leverage? And that's essentially what people want. They want extra leverage. They need more passionate goals. And then they'll be able to take healthier actions in a much easier way, instead of seeing everything like a chore and just slogging through it.
Yeah, I think that's so critical. That idea of inspiration and passion, I think, is what I was thinking about when I was kind of putting this together. That's what you should be using as motivation, isn't it? Rather than the whole, it's a slog. Yeah. So think about, I think this is what we're trying to say with this. Think about inspiration, think about motivation, which is the way that you should be thinking about motivation, not the other way around. Yeah. It's not something that you need to push to take action. Yeah, it's something that should be pulling you to where you want to be. And I just want to use a real quick experience kind of story that I've had, because this is really what drives one of my motivators here. So I'm just back from a weekend being away in Scotland, and I was on top of a mountain at 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning. It was blowing a gale. It was sub-zero conditions. And for most people, you're probably thinking that is not a nice place to be. And, you know, I absolutely get that. But the point that I want to be making here is I didn't have to be motivated to be there. Yeah, nothing was kind of pushing me to be there. being there is actually one of my strong motivators. Yeah, bizarrely, weird though this might sound, I actually enjoy being in those kind of scenarios. I like being out fell walking. Like did some wild camping, saw some amazing wildlife, some beautiful views, all that kind of stuff. That is a hugely powerful motivator for me, and therefore that is one of the things that drives me when it's like, oh, I've got to go to the gym today. I've got to eat healthily today, and maybe not have that slice of cake at lunchtime or whatever it may be. Yeah, because I don't want to miss out on these events. Yeah, I don't want to be 20, 30 years down the line and being like, oh, I can't go fell walking anymore. Those kinds of things, being passionate about being out in the fells, is a hugely powerful motivator for me to therefore make the decisions that I make about being healthy, fit, strong, and well. And that's the way that we really want you to start thinking about your motivation. Yeah, what can you be passionate about? Yeah. So should we dig a little bit into that, mate, and kind of think about how we could potentially support people to plan for finding their intrinsic motivation, their deep-seated passion, because this is very much the sort of thing that you enjoy getting on board, because you do some weird stuff as well with like your cold water swimming, which is just weird for me to think that that's a thing, but I know that that's a big motivator for you.
Yeah, I do lots of crazy stuff, man. I'll be honest, my mindset has been up and down for years, but predominantly up. To most people who know me, I'm seen as like a leader. But recently I've been getting coached, so I've gone from a leader to being led. And that again has leveled me up. So it's something that helps you. Like we've spoken here about goals that are more passionate, more exciting, things like that. And sometimes what you really need is to create more leverage to make sure that you become the person you want to be and get the results you want to be, right? You increase your accountability, you make it easy, you create extra leverage by building passion and what excites you. Like what you were saying there about being up in a mountain at 8 a.m. Like that's not your first rodeo. Do you know what I mean? And for some people, that might sound like that is like the most motivated thing I've ever heard. But you know what? Like knowing Ben, I know it was easy for him. And I'm not saying it was easy as in he's crazy motivated and loves doing mad things. I'm saying he made it easy. Like he made it exciting. He had all the gear, which made it physically easier. He had it booked in his calendar. He had other people to keep him accountable. So all these things, when I'm saying he made it easy, that's what I mean. He might have really struggled on the mountain. Who knows? No one will ever know that. And
no, it was all good, mate.
all good. But that's how he made it easy. And that's what, if you can bring those things into your fitness, that's how you're going to succeed.
Yeah. You use that passion to kind of to drive you forward and put those simple things in place, don't you? That's what it comes down to. It's like that passion to be on the mountainside. It's like, yeah, that's great. I'd love to be able to go and do that. But like you say, if I haven't got the right gear, and the maps, and went with a good friend of mine so we could share the drive and those kinds of things, having those building blocks in place, and therefore having to have the fitness in the tank, being strong enough to carry all that stuff on my back up a mountain and, camp out overnight and then go, putting all of that in place then makes that, I'm on top of the mountain at 8 o'clock in the morning, having a great time. it does make it so much more simple.
Easy.
So much more simple.
Like a Scottish Sherpa.
So a Scottish Sherpa would have been nice.
A Scottish Sherpa would have been nice.
I'm not gonna lie.
Carry all your bags up the mountain.
Yeah. that would have been good. Yeah, but it comes down to, like, it's obviously something that we're passionate about talking about, and therefore that feeds into what I do, health and fitness wise. I'm not sitting here going, I want to be a bit fitter, I want to lose a bit of weight, I want to eat a bit healthier, I'd like to go to the gym more. They're just, they're kind of boring, aren't they? They're shallow, they're poorly defined. you need to find out what it is that you really, really would like to do. What is it that means that you kind of need to be a bit more active? You need to eat well. You need to be that bit more healthy. We've got clients who do stand-up paddleboarding, for example, or rock climbing is another one of mine. So this powerful motivation we're talking about comes from these kind of powerful emotional connections that are pulling you towards taking these day-to-day, healthy actions, basically. The actions of going to the gym, the actions of eating well, but having that powerful emotional connection really, really supports you to do them.
Yep, absolutely. Do you know what, right? And if you think we're just making all this up, emotion is everything.
Yeah.
Everything when it comes to goal setting. If you have a boring goal, right, i.e. getting fitter, the most boring goal in the world. Like, you can get fitter in a day, you can get fitter in 3 years. Like, anything where it's better, more, less, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those vanilla words that are immeasurable. You can't quantify being fitter.
The meaning, yeah.
So putting numbers on things is massive, right? And connecting emotion to it, building passion is massive here, right? So writing down somewhere you can see it, what you want to achieve is massive, right? And something I'd recommend here is writing down who you want to be, right? Just giving yourself 10 to 15 minutes of writing, and just let your brain go with it. It might just all be notes, right? But you can start to dip into that sort of emotive writing of who you want to be. Then there's some questions that you can ask yourself to help create leverage and help build excitement for your journey too when you're writing it. So something that we start our clients with is asking them why, right?
Yeah.
Really powerful question, one word, but super powerful. And essentially, why do you want to get fitter? Let's break down, right? How about this? We break down that stupid, I want to get fitter, right?
Yeah, I hate it.
Because let's be honest, it's like, what is it? So we're recording this on the 24th of January. The amount of times people have told me this year that they want to be fitter, it is madness. But what we do is we then fine tune that and actually make it something quantifiable. So being fitter, okay. Well, what does being fitter look like to you? Yeah. How can you quantify that in terms of numbers? So is it a weight loss thing? Not necessarily recommended at all. But is it, okay, number of workouts per week, number of workouts per month, number of days tracking food, number of days that you have walked 7,500 steps? Like, there's things there that you can measure, that you can prove, okay, I am clearly fitter. All right. So if it was 30 gym sessions by the end of March, that is, like, although it's not next level as a goal for a starting point, it's significantly better than being fitter, right?
Yeah. You like you say, you've proven that you are fitter, and it's still then. So it's like, okay, you still need to be saying, we'll put some numbers on it. That's great, but then why are you looking for that as well? It's like, what is that rationale behind being fit? It's like, well, okay, I've got my plan in place now for how I can go about being fitter. But why is that I want to be fitter? Is it the case that I want to be able to run around after the kids or the grandkids, or I've got a big event coming up, like a wedding or something like that? It's deep, kind of diving into that kind of stuff that will really then assist you. Say, okay, I know I need to make 30 gym sessions between now and the end of March. Great. But when you get to session number 6 and you can't be bothered going, you're not looking for that external push to get you going, are you? You're like, the reason why I'm doing it is because of this thing that's like really, really important to me as a person. It might only be important to you. It doesn't have to be important to anybody else. It can be, sometimes it can almost be as shallow as you want it to be. The amount of times that people say, I just want to look a bit better. I want to be a bit confident when I'm stood in front of the mirror. It really doesn't matter, but it's got to be fundamental to who you are at the end of the day. And then you can kind of hold that in your head, can't you? And say, right, okay, when you're wanting to go to the gym or not wanting to go to the gym, where you're looking at that packet of biscuits on the side and thinking, oh, I fancy a couple of biscuits with a cup of tea, or it's a mate's birthday party, and you're thinking about turning around. So because you've got this powerful motivator, thinking, no, if I do this action, it's going to take me further away. Yeah, I know if I skip a gym session today, it means I've got to make up even more time to get those 30 sessions in by the end of March, for example.
Yeah.
So having that specific why you're doing it and putting those steps on the way to get there is real good.
Yeah. And making it emotive, right? You do that just by asking why. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really easy way. We're not telling you everything that we do with clients for goal setting, but to get started with it, write down what you want to achieve, right? And I would highly recommend writing down where you want to get to and who you want to be, like that person, because you're not the person that you're going to be once achieving that goal is not the same person that you are now. Okay, they are different people, and that's worth looking at as well. If your goal is big enough and exciting enough, that's good, because it shows that you're going to grow and you're going to be a better person to be there. But then asking why to build that emotive kickstart is massive. For example, I want to get fitter. Okay, why do you want to get fitter? Well, I just want to feel better. You see how that's still vague? So then from there, okay, well, why do you want to feel better? Well, I just haven't been doing a lot lately. And do you know what? I've got my 50th birthday coming up this year. And so then why is that important? Well, I haven't done anything for a few years. I've got a massive milestone coming up this year, and I want to feel amazing by the time I get to my 50th birthday. I want to feel 30 on my 50th birthday. As I get older, I want to be able to be active with my kids, right? So after you've asked why and you've found out exactly what you want, you can then quantify that with numbers, i.e., what do you have to do to get there? How can you measure it, right? And this next one isn't in our notes, but it's something that's a game changer, right? And I know this is a game changer for Ben, so he won't disagree in the slightest. One question.
Know what's coming then.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is where we edit out the podcast just cuts off here.
Yeah.
So after the emotive writing, you found out why you want to achieve what you want to achieve, and numerically and emotionally what you want to achieve. One mega powerful question is, who else benefits outside of me from me becoming the best version of myself?
Yeah, I more than agree. And I know exactly who you're thinking of as well in my life. And not just you, obviously, because me being fit and healthy assists our business. But
just me and the Scottish Sherpa in your life, isn't it? That's
no.
But it's a powerful question, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to say it at this stage, I'm sure you're talking about my son, who is just coming up 9. So this is, again, he's somebody who I am looking forward to taking out in the hills and going camping with, and somebody who I do an awful lot of activity already with. So having somebody else in there's a huge emotional bond in that scenario that is, that makes me happy to get out for a run. Even if it's chucking it down, it's like, I'll still go out and do 20 minutes because I know long term that is setting me up for having a good quality of life as my son grows up and doing lots of great stuff with him.
Yep.
So you're absolutely right, mate. It's a hugely powerful driver. I was using the example of me going off to Scotland. That was a very kind of personal thing to me. But if you can pull somebody else into this kind of emotional, powerful motivation, my God, you've got it made.
Yeah,
absolutely got it made. Because the thought of kind of letting that person down, the thought of missing out on opportunities with that person will give you all the kick in the bottom that you will ever possibly need. You don't need anybody else alongside you.
Absolutely. And that's just one form of leverage, right? There's another 5 or 6 forms of creating that extra leverage to suddenly make your goals exciting, inspiring. Suddenly it's easier to get up out of bed and get down to the gym because things mean more to you. And if you've done the emotive writing, what we've said about asking why, and also describing the person who you're going to be, right? Then when you get round to the question of who else benefits, if you've written down like, I'll be more energetic, I'll be more confident, I'll be happier, I'll be sleeping better. Think of all the people around you, probably in your home and people at work and people you spend a lot of time with, who would benefit from you being a better person, right? All those people get to see you being a
Yeah.
better person. That is crazy leverage, right? And imagine if you take that same list of people. Imagine if you showed up as your worst version of yourself. If you were continually getting slower, more fatigued, less energy, you were dealing with stress worse. Like, just think about how that would impact those people too. Yeah, there's ways to create heavy leverage to make sure that going to the gym is easy, and it doesn't
Yeah.
mean getting in the car and like going there is physically easy. It means that much to you that it's harder to fail than it is to succeed.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a really important point, and in fact, I didn't put it in the notes, but I was thinking about it because I think as part of this, it's like there are times when you're not going to want to go to the gym, or you're not going to want to do that training session at home, or you have that, extra biscuit or whatever. We're not saying that this is still like perfect all of the time, but it allows you so much more leverage. Yeah, you're still going to have days where you just can't be asked. Yeah, you cannot be bothered going to the gym. And Ross, you back me up on this one. We both have days where the thought of training is just, couldn't be bothered. But because we have, or in my case, we've discussed some of them, some of these powerful motivators, you still manage to go and put, even if you do a half-hour session, it's not the best session that you ever done in your life, but you still turn up and you still put in 30 minutes worth of effort.
Yep.
So much better doing that than just skipping a day because you're expecting somebody else or something else, something external to you to give you a push to get there. Yeah.
Yep.
So find that powerful motivation, that emotional motivation, as we've ended up calling it, inside yourself, that will assist you then to make these good decisions, and have that hugely beneficial impact on your health, your strength, your well-being, all that kind of stuff.
And
this is all obviously all. Sorry, go on, mate.
Yeah, I was just going to say one last thing before we wrap this up, right? One thing that is crazy essential after you've been through today's task, and I bet you people will listen and do nothing, right? And then still be in a similar position in the year. So I do challenge you to actually write down what we've spoken about today. 100% take half an hour to do it, right? 100% just take time to do it. But one last thing, it is essential that you then screw it up and put it in your drawer and never use it and never look at it ever again. Ever. Just don't use it. Just carry on living exactly as you are and make zero changes. After you've done this 30-minute task, just do nothing about it. Just forget all about it and do nothing at all. Don't make any changes. Don't eat healthier. Don't start exercising. Just think that that's it and you've completed goal setting, and that is that. Don't do anything at all. Or actually then move forward becoming the person who you've written down you want to be, right? Show up for the people who you've said are leverage for you. That's probably a better suggestion, but it takes action, and no one else can do it other than you. And we say that because we want you to win. We're not saying it because we want you to fail. We are telling you this because we want you to win. All right. And all I would say to that is, if you're struggling with goal setting, struggling with mindset, want to be more confident, more energized, want to build a routine in fitness, whatever it is for you, we have everything, and I mean everything, covered in our academy, with our coaching, with our lowest level of coaching. You can get your first month for £9. All right. Like, we have made this so everybody can have access to exactly what is needed in terms of mindset, nutrition, training, support, building those next level goals and building that fire in your belly. Okay, so check us out at www.aeonhealth.co.uk and look out for our Aeon Light membership. Get your first month for £9. And if you need any info on that or have any questions on anything coaching related, get in touch with us and we will 100% be able to help you out.